Hey guys, today I have a birthday themed book haul to share with you. So I got quite a few books here that I'm gonna haul for you guys. All of these books I actually purchased on my birthday. I took the week off from work. I had a week of vacation time I needed to use up before my vacation time like rolls back over and starts over. So I had a week of vacation time, and I tend to really like using my vacation time right around my birthday just so I can have a nice, chill, relaxed birthday, have some me time. So yeah, what I always love to do around my birthday, on my birthday, however, I definitely love going to my favorite bookstore, which is Barnes & Noble. And yeah, going a little nuts and crazy and buying too many books. It's not great for me. I have a book problem. But hey, Barnes & Noble, they like my business. It's helping them. So yeah. I have tons of books here. I have this little batch of books right here, and then this is the actual Books A Million bag right here, you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, look, this, oh my god. It's heavy. Yes, I was running around in the bookstore with that big ass bag, and I about ripped my arms off. It was a little terrible. So yeah, let's get going, you guys, because I have quite a few books here. This first little batch that I held up first. I actually got these at a used bookstore. I always love going to a used bookstore and getting some good bargains, especially for books that maybe I'm having a hard time finding and whatnot. I just happened to stumble across them at a used bookstore. So yeah, the first one I have here, I have The Queen's Vow by C.W. Gortner, and this is a novel of Isabella of Castile. You know, Isabella and Fernando, you know, the two of them who sent out Christopher Columbus to go sail the ocean blue in 1492. The little rhyme. Don't we all love the little rhyme that we all learned in elementary school? So yeah, I don't think I've ever read a historical fiction book about Isabella of Castile, so when I found this I was like, ooh, must buy. And next up I have Behind the Shattered Glass by Tasha Alexander, and this is part of the Lady Emily mystery series, and this is actually book 8 in the series. I have slowly been trying to collect all of the books in this series. I do have book number 1, and this is book number 8, and then yeah, I have like books 10, 11, 12, and 13. I think it's like at 13 or 14 right now. I have like all the ending books in the series pretty much, starting at like book number 10. So yeah, I've been trying to kind of slowly collect the Lady Emily mystery series, especially like at used bookstores and whatnot. Because I would like to kind of binge my way through it. And I hear a lot of really great, amazing things and reviews about the Lady Emily mystery series. A lot of people really love these books, and that they're great little mysteries, historical thriller mysteries and whatnot, and that definitely sounds right up my alley, and I definitely can't wait to get to these books in the future. Next up I have The Angel of Darkness by Caleb Carr, and this is book 2 in the Alienist series. I do own the first book, so yeah, I've been meaning to get this second book for the longest time. I don't know why I haven't got it. I love the TV show, you guys. If you weren't aware, The Alienist, which is the first book in the series, it was made into a TV series. So yeah, that first book was season 1. This second book was season 2. I absolutely love that series. It's like a great historical thriller, and people are getting murdered left and right, and you gotta figure out things and whatnot. And your primary main character in these books is he wouldn't have been called a psychologist at that time, because I think that was still kind of a up-and-coming word at the time. Psychologists were pretty much called alienists and whatnot. That's why the series is called The Alienist. And yeah, his name is Dr. Laszlo Kreisler, and that's his thing. He's kind of like Sherlock Holmes, but for psychology, you know? And he figures out the mentality and psychology of killers, so he can help the police force track down the killers and what their habits might be, you know, and to prevent any future crimes, especially if that person might be a serial killer and whatnot. So yeah, I really liked the second season that this book is based off of. Can't wait to get to it. And then I have another Caleb Carr book here, and that is Surrender, New York. And you guys, I thought, for some reason, I thought this was book 3 in the Alienist series. I guess it's not. I got on Goodreads, and then I quickly discovered, oh, this is not book 3. This is just kind of another book by Caleb Carr, which I didn't realize, because I didn't really even read the plot synopsis in heavy detail. I kind of just was skimming through it, and I saw the name Dr. Chrysler. Like I said, Dr. Chrysler is kind of the main character of the Alienist series, and I saw the name on here. So kind of my understanding, kind of just glancing through this, it's like this book takes place in the same world and same universe, but none of those characters from the Alienist are in here, I don't think. I don't know, I guess I'll find out. Either way, this still sounded really, really good. Next up, The English Wife by Lauren Willig. I am a huge fan of Lauren Willig. I love and adore her Pink Carnation series, and I've been slowly trying to gather all of her standalone books. So yeah, this one, I gotta read you the plot synopsis of this one, you guys. Annabelle and Bayard Van Duville live a charmed life. He's the scion of an old Knickerbocker family. She grew up in a Tudor house in England. They had a fairy tale romance in London. They have 3-year-old twins on whom they dote, and he's recreated her beloved family home on the banks of the Hudson and named it Illyria. Yes, there are rumors that she's having an affair with the architect, but rumors are rumors, and people will gossip. But then Bayard is found dead with a knife in his chest on the night of their 12th night ball. Annabelle goes missing, presumed drowned, and the papers go mad. Bayard's sister Janie forms an unlikely alliance with a reporter to try to uncover the truth, convinced that Bayard would never have killed his wife, that it must be a third party. But the more she learns about her brother and his wife, the more everything she thought she knew about them starts to unravel. Who were her brother and his wife really, and why did her brother die with the name George on his lips? Ooh, this sounds so good, guys. I'm all for historical murder mysteries, if you can't tell. Okay, so that is it for the used books. I'm going to jump right into the big bag from Barnes & Noble. You guys, I think I counted on my receipt 13 books. The receipt looked like a CVS receipt. If you've gone to the drugstore, pharmacy, CVS, you know what I talk about when I'm talking about lengthy receipts. And you guys, I have a very serious question to ask you, because I'm not even sure how to talk about this subject, because you guys don't come to my channel for me to sit and talk about politics and hard-hitting news and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're aware of what's going on in the world currently and the Russian invasion of Ukraine and everything, if you've been on my channel for a while, those of you who stick around and watch my videos, I am a sucker for Russian historical fiction, especially if it takes place in Imperial Russia with the Romanovs and whatnot. So I guess what I'm trying to say, or get down to, I suppose, because this book haul, a lot of these books that I'm about to show you that I got from Barnes & Noble, I have about 4 or 5 books in here that do take place in Russia, like historical fiction setting, especially like Imperial Russia. And I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm being silly or over the top, but I kind of was sitting here dreading doing this video, to be quite honest, and to talk about some of these like Russian themed books and whatnot. I felt it made me feel a little awkward. I can't even, I feel like I'm being awkward right now, trying to even get my feelings out, if that makes sense. Is that silly? Should I not feel guilty or ashamed and whatnot? I don't know if that makes sense. If you guys even know what I'm trying to say and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just warning you in advance if that's going to be something you're going to be uncomfortable with. For some of these books coming up, I do have quite a number of Russian historical fiction books in here. Like I said, I feel a little awkward about it, and I don't know if I should be. And yeah, I don't really want to linger on the subject too much, because like I said, y'all aren't here for politics and whatnot. We're here to just have a good time and enjoy some books. And yeah, I have all that there, as I said, because one of my first books that I'm getting to here, it's called Daughters of a Dead Empire by Caroline Tara O'Neill. And this is young adult, and I thought this was really cool. It says, Russia, 1918. With the execution of Tsar Nicholas II, the empire crumbles, and Russia is on the edge of civil war. The poor are devouring the rich. Anna, a bourgeois girl, narrowly escaped the massacre of her entire family in Ekaterinburg. So I'm assuming Anna is supposed to be Anastasia. So yeah, desperate to get away from the Bolsheviks, she offers a peasant girl a diamond to take her as far south as possible, not realizing that the girl is a communist herself. With her brother in desperate need of a doctor, Eugenia accepts Anna's offer and suddenly finds herself on the wrong side of the war. Anna is being hunted by the Bolsheviks, and now, regardless of her loyalties, Eugenia is too. I thought this was really good. I love the cover design of this too, all this white and blue, just so pretty. And next up, Gallant? Right? Remember, I feel like I'm butchering the pronunciation. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This book design, you guys, I love the book design, and then even in the inside, like even the flap, and then just the inside in general, there's just a bunch of photos and stuff. It's a really gorgeously designed book, you guys. All her life, Olivia Pryor has wondered who she truly is and where she belongs. Her only clue is a slim, battered journal, her mother's journal, full of entries that seem to show that she was unraveling, and drawings that look like blots of ink, until Olivia notices a hand, a door, a bloom, a skull. Then a letter beckons Olivia home to Gallant, the one place her mother's journal warns her never to go. Olivia goes anyway, of course. That's what you do in books like this. Of course she does. What she finds is her last living relative and her family's manor. A manor with a ballroom and a sitting room and a study and a sprawling, vibrant garden, and the crumbling ruin of a garden wall with an iron door. A door she must never open. She's going to open it. But no one at Gallant sent Olivia that letter, and no one will tell her what haunts her cousin's dreams, what happened to her mother, or what lies on the other side of the wall. Did the shadows call Olivia home? What will they ask of her in return? This is just so vague and mysterious, and I love it. Next up, After the Romanovs, Russian Exiles in Paris from the Belle Epoque through Revolution and War by Helen Rappaport. I love Helen Rappaport's nonfiction. She tends to focus a lot on kind of the Romanovs and the dying days of Imperial Russia and whatnot. Seriously, her nonfiction is very easy to get into. It's very straightforward and just really well written. Compared to some nonfiction that I read that can be really dry and boring, Helen Rappaport, her nonfiction never reads that way, and I just always look forward to whenever she has a new work of nonfiction. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty explanatory, this title, I guess, After the Romanovs. Because yeah, after the fall of Imperial Russia, everyone kind of, scattered off, especially to Paris. It seems Paris was like a really popular destination. So yeah, I'm definitely excited and intrigued to get to this, kind of read something after that time period and whatnot. All the Queen's Men by S. Yes, S. I had to think about my alphabet for a minute, you guys. My brain is a little slow right now. S.J. Bennett. This is book 2 in this particular series. What is this series even called? Oh, it says up here in fine print that I can't even read because it's too dark. Her Majesty the Queen Investigates. Yeah, this series, there's only 2 books in the series right now. These books are all about Queen Elizabeth II of England. Queen Elizabeth II investigating some crime or something. Yeah, what is this one about? Like I said, this is book 2 in this series because the first book was called The Windsor Knot. So I'm just going to read the plot synopsis of this one. At Buckingham Palace, the autumn of 2016. That's where we're. Yeah. Yes, okay, I can read, you guys. The Queen must deal with the fallout from the Brexit referendum. Oh Lord, this is very timely. A new female prime minister and a tumultuous election in the United States. Yet, these prove to be the least of her worries when a staff member is found dead beside the palace swimming pool. It is truly the result of a tragic accident. Or is it truly the result of a tragic accident, as the police think, or is something more sinister going on? These are so silly. This sounds so freaking silly. The first book in the series was the same way as well. It just sounds so silly, but it's kind of like this, like, alternate universe world where Queen Elizabeth II, you know, elderly, very elderly Queen Elizabeth II, and she's out there just fighting crime and whatnot. This is what she gets up to in her spare time. I like to imagine that. Next up, The Magnificent Lives of Marjorie Post by Alison Pataki. I absolutely love Alison Pataki's historical fiction. I've read quite a few books from her, and pretty much every single book I have really loved and enjoyed. Yeah, this... I on my own, I perhaps would not really pick this up. I've really only picked this up because of Alison Pataki's name. And I definitely want to give it a shot because she has written this. I think I will highly enjoy it. It says, this is an epic reimagining of the remarkable life of Marjorie Merriweather Post, the American heiress and trailblazing leader of the 20th century. It says down here, her journey began with gluing labels to cereal boxes in her father's barn. No one could have predicted that the Post Cereal Company would grow into the General Foods empire and reshape the American way of life, with Marjorie as its heiress and leading lady. Not content to stay in her prescribed roles of high society wife, mother, and hostess, Marjorie dared to demand more, making history in the process. Before turning 30, she had become the wealthiest woman in the United States, but it was her life force, advocacy, passion, and adventurous spirit that led to her stunning legacy. And I'm kind of ashamed to admit, I've never heard of this woman. I mean, I've heard of, like, you know, the Post Cereal Company or whatever, you know. I've never heard of this lady. This lady though, and I'm kind of, I don't know if I should feel embarrassed or ashamed about that. So yeah, I'm definitely willing to learn more about this woman. Sisters of Night and Fog, in this very gloomy cover, you guys. Erica Roebuck. So, 1940. In a world newly burning with war, and in spite of her American family's wishes, Virginia d'Albert Lake decides to stay in occupied France with her French husband. She's sure that if they keep their heads down, they'll survive, but is surviving enough? 19-year-old Violette Bushel has seen the Nazis' evil up close and is desperate to fight them, but after she meets the man who'll change her life, only for tragedy to strike, Violette feels adrift until she enters the radar of Britain's secret war organization, the Special Operations Executive, and a new fire is lit in her as she decides just how much she's willing to risk to enlist. As Virginia and Violet navigate resistance, their clandestine deeds come to a staggering halt when they are brought together at Ravensbrück concentration camp, which was notorious for being like an all-female concentration camp during World War II and whatnot. So yeah, definitely excited to, I don't know, is excited the right, whenever I talk about World War II historical fiction, and then I'm always like, oh, I'm so excited to get to that, and then it's like, wait, I don't think I should be excited. It's a very serious topic. You all know what I mean, though. Next up, The Last Grand Duchess by Bryn Turnbull, and this says it's a novel of Olga Romanoff in pure Russia and revolution. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when I did my top 5 back in January for books that I was most excited for the upcoming year, this was definitely on my list. Was this number 1 on my list? You know what? I'm trying to think now. Was this number 1 on my list? It may have been, or it might have been number 2, something like that. Yeah, right from the get-go, because it says this is about Olga Romanoff, who is the eldest daughter of Tsar Nicholas II and whatnot. I was like, hell yes, I want to read this book. Is it going to be probably massively inaccurate? Hell yes. So Grand Duchess Olga Romanoff comes of age amid a shifting tide for the great dynasties of Europe, but even as unrest simmers in the capital, Olga is content to live the sheltered life her parents have built for her and her sisters, hiding from the world on account of their mother's ill health, their brother Alexei's secret affliction, and rising controversy over Father Grigory Rasputin, the priest on whom the Tsarina relies. Olga's only escape comes from the grand tea parties her aunt hosts amid the shadow court of St. Petersburg, a world of opulent ballrooms, scandalous flirtation, and whispered conversation. Yes, I'm all for this, you guys. The Tsarina's A Daughter by Ellen Epstein. What's this one about? Born into the house of Romanov to the all-powerful Peter the Great and his wife Catherine, a former serf, beautiful Tsarevna Elizabeth is the envy of the Russian Empire. She is insulated by luxury and spoiled by her father, who dreams for her to marry King Louis XV of France and rule in Versailles. But when a woodland creature gives her a Delphic prophecy, her life is turned upside down. Her volatile father suddenly dies. Her only brother is executed, dear God, and her mother takes the throne of Russia. As friends turn to foes in the dangerous atmosphere of the imperial court, the princess must fear for her freedom and her life. Fate deals her blow after blow, and even loving her becomes a crime that warrants cruel torture and capital punishment. But only her true love and the burning passion they share can finally help her become who she is, and Elizabeth matures from suffering victim to strong and savvy survivor. Ooh. You guys, I feel like I have hauled nothing but historical fiction so far. I'm kind of loving it. As you can see, I'm obsessed with historical fiction, and I think it just keeps going here. I'm looking in the bag. There just seems to be even more historical fiction popping up. So yeah, we have Her Hidden Genius by Marie Benedict. I have read, is it 3 other books? I think I've read 3 other books by Marie Benedict in the last several years, and I have really highly enjoyed all of her books. So yeah, once again, kind of the same with Alison Pataki. This is another book, just because Marie Benedict's name is on it, and I've read and enjoyed other books. That's why I picked this book up. So yeah, what is this about? Rosalind Franklin has always been an outsider, brilliant but different. Whether working at the laboratory she adored in Paris or toiling at a university in London, she feels closest to the science, those unchanging laws of physics and chemistry that guide her experiments. When she is assigned to work on DNA, she believes she can unearth its secrets. Rosalind knows if she takes just one more X-ray picture, one more after thousands, she can unlock the building blocks of life. Never again will she have to listen to her colleagues complain about her, especially Morris Wilkins, who'd rather conspire about genetics with James Watson and Francis Crick than work alongside her. Then it finally happens. The double helix structure of DNA reveals itself to her with perfect clarity. But what unfolds next, Rosalind could never have predicted. In general, I wouldn't really be intrigued by something like this, kind of dealing with science. But once again, Marie Benedict being the author of this, I was like, I definitely want to give this a chance, because Marie Benedict's specialty has kind of been focusing on women in history that have kind of been neglected or kind of pushed to the side. Like one of her first books I read was The Only Woman in the Room, which was about actress Hedy Lamarr, who a lot of people kind of only know as an actress, but she was also a scientist as well, and an inventor, and really helped come up with some inventions that changed the world. So yeah, it's kind of the same with this book, focusing on a woman that I don't think I've ever heard of, but she helped uncover, I guess, the structure of DNA and whatnot, which is revolutionary. So I'm definitely curious to read this. Next up, Beasts of a Little Land by, oh my, Yuhei Kim? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, you guys. It's 1917, deep in the snowy mountains of occupied Korea. An impoverished local hunter on the brink of starvation saves a young Japanese officer from an attacking tiger. In an instant, their fates are connected, and from this encounter unfolds a saga that spans half a century. In the aftermath, a young girl named Jade is sold by her family to Madame Silver's courtesan school, an act of desperation that will cement her place in the lowest social status. When she befriends an orphan boy named Young Ho, who scrapes together a living begging on the streets of Seoul, they form a deep friendship. As they come of age, Young Ho is swept up in the revolutionary fight for independence, and Jade becomes a sought-after performer with a new romantic prospect of noble birth. Soon Jade must decide whether she will risk everything for the one who could do the same for her. Yeah, I don't read very much like Asian historical fiction, I suppose, because if you can tell from my my collection of books here, I really am into like European historical fiction, and then kind of like a little bit of like American historical fiction and whatnot. But yeah, European historical fiction is really my prime thing that I love and I'm obsessed with. But yeah, I don't read enough of Asian historical fiction, and it's like I want to remedy that, you guys. I really want to remedy that and get more into that. And yeah, this sounded really cool, and I love the cover design of this. I am a sucker for just really unique historical fiction covers, because after a while, the covers featuring like just a woman with her back turned facing you and her head's like chopped off, you know, you can't see her face or anything. After a while, those covers get a little bland and boring and not very creative. So yeah, I'm definitely a sucker for just really unique historical fiction covers, and this definitely is one. Next up, you guys, this is a shocker. Science fiction. What? I definitely do not read that much science fiction, but the concept of this, I was kind of like, huh, I want to give this a shot. This is The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. January Cole's job just got a whole lot harder. Not that running security at the Paradox was ever really easy. Nothing simple at a hotel where the ultra-wealthy tourists arrive costumed for a dozen different time periods, all eagerly waiting to catch their flights to the past. Or where proximity to the time port makes the clocks run backward on occasion, and rumor has it allows ghosts to stroll the halls. None of that compares to the corpse in room 526, the one that seems to be both there and not there, the one that somehow only January can see. Ooh. On top of that, some very important new guests have just checked in, because the US government is about to privatize time travel technology, and the world's most powerful people are on hand to stake their claims. January is sure the timing isn't a coincidence, neither are those accidents that start stalking their bidders. There's a reason January can glimpse what others can't, a reason why she's the only one who can catch a killer who's operating invisibly and in plain sight all at once. But her ability is only destroying her grip on reality, and as her past, present, and future collide, she finds herself confronting not just the hotel's dark secrets, but her own. There's just something about this that I was like, okay, that sounds bizarrely interesting, and I can totally see this being like either a Hulu TV series or a Netflix TV series or Amazon, you know, just some streaming network in general. This would make for a great TV show, I think, and I bet anything in the next couple years it does. Next up, When We Lost Our Heads. What a title. What a cover, too. I love this blue and pink. This is by Heather O'Neill. Seriously, oh, I'm just loving all this blue and pink, you guys. Wow. Okay, I'm getting distracted by pretty covers. Okay, charismatic Marie Antoinette is the daughter of the richest man in 19th century Montreal. She has everything she wants, except for a best friend, until clever scheming Sadie Arnett moves to the neighborhood. Immediately united by their passion and intensity, Marie and Sadie attract and repel each other in ways that thrill them both. Their games soon become tinged with risk, even violence. Forced to separate by the adults around them, the two spend years engaged in acts of alternating innocence and depravity. Good God. And when a singular event brings them back together, the dizzying effects will upend the city. It says, traveling from a repressive finishing school to a vibrant brothel, taking readers firsthand into the brutality of factory life and the opulent lives of Montreal's wealthy. This book is a dazzling exploration of gender, sex, desire, class, and the terrifying power of the human heart when it can't let someone go. Ooh. Once again, this is like another book that has a rather vague kind of synopsis. It's really leaving me like, ooh, what's going to go on? And you guys, finally, y'all are probably thinking, dear God, finally, the last book in this haul. It's a beast of a book, dear freaking God. This is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, and this is book 2 in the Crescent City series, and ooh, another pretty cover. Young adult tends to have really pretty covers. Ooh, and look at the inside. It's just the cover, but still. Yeah, I'm not really going to get too much into this since it is book 2 of a young adult series. But yeah, this series takes place in like a fictional land, a fictional realm, if you will, called Crescent City. And yeah, it has like people who are like fairies, people who are demons, people who are werewolves, people who are like fallen angels and whatnot. It's that kind of thing, like a supernatural sort of thing. If you like the Shadowhunter universe by Cassandra Clare, for instance, or yeah, if you love the Court of Thorns and Roses series, also by Sarah J. Maas, you'll most likely really like this. And seriously, this book, when I put this in my bag, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to have no more room for other books because this was taking up like half the damn bag. Okay, I'm probably exaggerating, but still, I was like, dear God, yeah, how many pages is this? Oh my God, it just keeps going. You guys, it keeps going. It's over 800 pages. I'm a little stressed out. So you guys, that is it for this rather lengthy video, but I did have a really fun time filming it for you guys. And yeah, all of these books, I just can't wait to get to. I have a book buying problem. It's probably going to take me forever. to get to any of these, but I'm definitely curious, which of these books do you guys think I should get to sooner rather than later? And yeah, are you a fan of all this historical fiction? Because I certainly am. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.